Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. It is Monday, in fact. Um, so it was brought to my attention today of an announcement that was made. I've been quite busy. Today's been a really busy day as far as clients, and I had a weekend with I had a million things to do. So I really haven't been tuned into the situation. And for the most part, I'll actually tune myself out and make a conscious effort not to pay attention to headlines or announcements or any news, really. Because when I do the work that I do, I really want to preserve the integrity and clarity of the vessel that is my own channel. And I have found without a doubt that the power of suggestion is very real. Couple that with the power of emotion. Um, I just don't want to create any more unnecessary bias. Hello, everybody. Hello, Renee. So, today, what we're going to do, I've got my cards right here. I want to discuss this announcement that was made. Okay. Now this article is from yahoo.com, and it says the Supreme Court to hear case to reinstate Donald Trump over rigged election. I'm likely going to be using a lot of keywords here. If I can if you guys can just say a prayer that I don't get struck already on this channel, that would be great. If I could stay up for a whole month, I would be so happy with that. So you can find this article on yahoo.com. The beginning of it reads, the U.S. Supreme Court is reportedly reconsidering hearing the Brunson versus Adams lawsuit after previously dismissing it earlier this year. The lawsuit appears to be seeking to remove President Joe Biden, 80, from the White House and reinstate former President Donald Trump, 76, as President of the United States, as it claims that lawmakers violated their oaths of office by refusing to investigate the allegedly fraudulent 2020 general election, which it claims was rigged in Biden's favor. Hi, everybody. Hello. Starting to see some familiar faces. Hello, greetings, greetings. I hope everybody's having a nice Monday. So this is good news for a Monday. This isn't bad news for a Monday. So let's just take a look at what the Brunson versus Adams case is about. So everything I'm about to tell you, I'm getting directly from this article right here. You can get it on yahoo.com. This was a huge announcement, so I guarantee you can find all kinds of versions of this article all over the internet. Okay, so this is the gist of it. So, what is the Brunson versus Adams case? Plaintiff Rayland Brunson claims that the defendants, which include almost 400 members of Congress, as well as Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and former President Mike Pence, voted to certify the 2020 presidential election despite receiving a valid request from 154 members of Congress to investigate the unfounded claims of electoral fraud in 6 states. So I can tell you right off the bat, yahoo.com is totally spinning this. You can tell from the linguistics that they're using, the tone that they're using, they're gaslighting the reader. Now, article continues. The lawsuit claims that Brunson's vote for Trump, which he cast in Utah back in 2020, was made invalid due to election fraud. The suit called for all 387 members of Congress who voted to certify Biden's electoral votes to be removed from their role, along with Biden and Harris, and be prohibited from running for office again. Brunson is also reportedly seeking $2 billion in tax-free damages. I like this person. I haven't heard of this person before today. Pardon my ignorance. And if you guys have heard of him, please let me know who he is, what his background is. I love a patriot that will stick their head out and organize with people, use their own energy, use their own money for the restoration and glory of the American Republic. You guys, this is great news. So let's see here. Brunson files appeal following SCOTUS's initial decision. Brunson then filed an appeal. Okay, let's see. Brunson posted an update on Facebook following the court's January 9th decision, writing, "The petition was denied. We will now make our next move, a petition for reconsideration. Hang in there, everyone." Brunson files appeal following SCOTUS initial decision. Brunson then filed an appeal on January 23rd with new reports stating that the court now has to reconsider hearing the case. And according to an update on the Supreme Court of the United States website, the lawsuit was distributed for conference on Friday, February 17th. You guys, please make note of the dates. Make notes of all of the numbers, the numerology, the dates, the times, all of that stuff. Anytime there is a reference to something 17, I'm just currently at a point where, in my understanding of this whole thing, that they're communicating with each other. They're communicating directly with people that know what they're looking for. And things like this, the 17s everywhere, those are not coincidences. At least that's my personal understanding of the situation. So the article continues. In the January 23rd appeal, Brunson said the court should grant a rehearing because the case, quote, represents a very powerful domestic covert operation that is so benign that it cannot be seen on how it has breached our national security and how it is affecting the national security of both Canada and Mexico, and how it has circulated fears that we might soon see the destruction of property along with large volume of bloodshed in our own streets. So this man was like, whether this is a man, an entity, if he's representing a larger entity, a larger company, a larger collective, I'm not sure. Like I said, I have no idea who this person is. Let's see. That's right. Oh, Denise V with the sauce. Case number 2020-380 denied twice. Brunsons are going forward with it. This is great news. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I am a Nirvana fan. I can name more than 2 songs, so I'm allowed to wear a band shirt, this band shirt, because I can name tons of Nirvana songs. Love Kurt Cobain. All right, let's get back into it. Trump's former legal advisor supports Supreme Court's initial decision. All right, so pay attention. Bad actors everywhere, you guys. Continued. Interestingly, Jenna Ellis, a former senior legal advisor to former President Donald Trump, actually supported the Supreme Court's decision to reject hearing the case, writing on Twitter, quote, "This is the right call and predicted. The Supreme Court is not the arbiter of how a member does his or her job. This is a non-justiciable issue. Imagine if a future Dem sought removal of members for failing to investigate Trump. This would open the door to further weaponizing," end quote. All right. So what I'd like to do is provide my just initial gut feeling on the situation. So I believe that we are at the phase in the movie of the Great Awakening right now. We're really down to the wire. We don't have much time left before the next general election, the 2024 election. When campaign time starts to kick off, everything starts to move very quickly and the mudslinging just ups, exponentially. So I believe that we're at a phase right now where this was very strategically announced, in part, not just anything, but in part to see what certain key players were going to do, how they were going to behave. And within their strategic positions, I believe that they're being observed by what some of you may refer to as white hat operatives, whether they be good guys undercover, overt good guys, what have you. They're patriotic people that are invested in the future of our republic and our sovereignty. So I believe that those people that I just mentioned have eyes on certain key figures and key players and are looking very closely to see what they do, how they behave, and what kind of contacts that they make, what kind of communications that they make now in light of this kind of an announcement. Now, again, I do believe that a lot of what we see and what we hear is strategically released. for the purpose of optics. And a lot of this stuff is not actually news to players behind the scenes. But that being said, even in their circles, not everybody is as in the know as you might think. They're people, and people get sloppy when they're afraid or ignorant or arrogant, not paying attention. So I think that this was almost like a little bit of partially a bit of a recon mission, just to see now how people are going to take this, and what the outpouring looks like. Take the temperature, see where people are at with it. So that's just my initial reaction to it. I have always been of the understanding that, or at least of the belief rather, that Trump really never went anywhere. Being a Florida resident, we have kind of this collective understanding here that Trump is still our president. He never stopped being our president. Everybody knows that the election was stolen. This isn't conjecture. This isn't opinion. This is real life facts. And we're being gaslighted en masse by our government, or not my government, by the government, into the idea that believing what we are plainly observing makes us stupid, delusional, crazy, conspiracy theorists. Just brazen gaslighting all across the board can be very difficult, very triggering for people. It's part of the reason I keep my nose down and just mind my own business, do my readings, keep my channel clear, and stay in my lane, because I don't like to feel gaslighted. I don't like to hear what these people are telling us or calling us or anything like that. Now let's get into it. I really want to consult with the cards. I want to take a look at what the implications are for this announcement, what it means for the bigger picture, and then maybe get a handle on what some of the timelines are looking like. And I don't mean dates. I mean more about how energies are moving. Are they moving very quickly? Are they at a standstill? Or are they going backwards? Okay, so that's how we gauge the direction of a thing. Is we're really just trying to understand how the principles of the tarot, the elements of the tarot, are moving. And we sort of try to do it that way. All right, you guys. So let's take a look. All right. The implications of this announcement, that this case will be heard again. What are the implications? Hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday. We got 87 people. This is awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's true. Jenny, I just read my name, so I spoke my name. Trump does indeed have the nuclear codes. Ace of Swords. Yay. You guys can't really see this. There. Ace of Swords. So I'm not making it up. And you guys see me shuffle a million times, so I'm not. There's no tricks here. This is tarot raw and in your face. Nothing to hide here. So the Ace of Swords. Oh man, the implications of the Ace of Swords. So this is going to be the top to bottom reassessment of an already existing contract or document. So very traditionally speaking, when the Ace of Swords comes up in any reading, we're talking about documents. We're talking about contracts that are absolutely binding. Swords being the element of air, that principle has domain over things like our words, our written agreements. You put your signature on something. That is very much an embodiment of the Ace of Swords energy. So the Ace of Swords in this case, this is a very clarifying implication. This is also very cutting. The Ace of Swords literally being a double-edged sword here. This is very painful, apparently. This is breakthrough, success, clarity, new ideas, sharp minds. Now, air elements, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I believe that Trump is a Gemini, as am I. I could be wrong. It depends. I guess it's really going to depend on which system you subscribe to, Vedic or Western or any of those. But I do believe that Trump is a Gemini, and so here is our Trump card right here, the Gemini energy. So the implications, the Ace of Swords, this is going to piss a lot of people off. I also do think that this was a very significant like call signal. This was like, it's like when you emit some kind of a sound or a siren, and it's like, this is not a drill. This is not a drill, and it, depending on who you are, it hurts. It's very, very painful. So I feel here that this is a very cutting thing for a lot of people. Now, um, this aside for just a moment, we've been at this a while, years now. I believe that the 2020 stolen election created a false sense of security and safety within the population of the country that we very often consider of the dark side. Mark Passio, some of you guys might know who he is. He's a former Satanist or Luciferian or one of those. I realize that Satanists and Luciferians are two different things. I'm just not sure which one he formerly was. That's all I'm saying. But he has some great content. He's also a tarot guy. But he did state, these are his words, that there are upwards of 30 million people in North America that are either directly or indirectly complicit in the satanic operations that go on in the world, including things like child trafficking. There's drugs involved, there's gatekeeping, there's all kinds of super weird shit that goes on that apparently tens of millions of people in North America are involved in. Now, that really does put them in a pretty significant chunk of the populace. And when this population that we're speaking about, this dark population, we call them that because, like, I consider us light. We might not be perfect. We're definitely not perfect, but we have a line. There's a code of conduct. There's some things you just don't do. And if you do them with no empathy, you then forfeit yourself. You self-classify as being part of the darkness exclusively. Or at least that's how you want to identify. That's how you want to live. Like, now you are who you choose to be. So I believe that these people have enjoyed a period of comfort, a period of relief. I mean, I try to put myself in the shoes of somebody like that who, during the Trump administration, must have been absolutely riddled from head to toe with fear. Their nervous system was a wreck, thinking, "Oh my God, the jig is up. They found us out. They're breaking up the rings. The NSA has everything. They know." And I believe that they felt their doom coming during the Trump administration. They no longer felt that sense of safety. And then when the election was stolen in front of us, or my understanding now is that that was all allowed to happen, so that it was stolen from the American people. This wasn't a surprise to the Trump administration. I think this was all, to an extent, an act, a script. But so many people don't know that, including a huge chunk of the populace that thinks that they got away with being child molesters, child predators, gatekeepers of child trafficking, complicit in this, complicit in that. And so something like this, an announcement like this, sends absolute shockwaves of fear, terror, and doom into the nervous system of tens of millions of people that thought they were really going to get away with this. And so I think that that's going to manifest itself in the collective psychological terrain of the Western world. I really do. If there are that many people that are out here abusing children, snatching children, selling children, creating child porn, circulating child porn, they are feeling it. They are feeling it. So let's get a little bit more here. Is the case going to be heard? Is this case going to be very, very seriously considered? Let's see. I really hope nobody is under the impression that I'm some kind of like a Republican or not or something. I'm not. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. I'm not affiliated with any political party whatsoever. Full stop. That's it. I'm so disappointed with Republicans, with most Republicans and how they have behaved. So I'm not like over here like, yeah, I don't give a shit about the two-party system until there's something completely new with people that are not lifetime politicians or owned in any sense by private corporations or pharmaceutical companies that I think every word out of all of their mouths is bullshit, to be completely honest with you. Even some of the darlings of the Republican Party that got a lot of clout and a lot of airtime, I don't believe you. There are exceptions, certainly, but please don't ever just assume that I'm a Republican because I hate Democrats. I hate Democrats for sure. That doesn't make me a Republican. Glad I'm watching live. This video is going to be flagged by YouTube. Probably. Okay, then why talk about politics? Okay, Jeff Narrold. Because I freaking feel like it. That's why. Dickbag. Get the fuck off my channel. How about that? Thank you. All right. I'm talking about it because a lot of people that subscribe to my channel and have followed me over the years also happen to follow politics. Just because I'm not politically inclined doesn't mean I'm not going to cover it. You fucking loser. Yeah. Wow. You're shocked, huh? So you can say something behind a keyboard and you think, oh, I could just do whatever I want. Put this user in timeout. Sit down. Shut up. There you go. All right. So let's get back into it. Is anything going to come of this case? Anything significant going to come of this case? Let's see. The lovers. Okay, guys. So we have the lovers here. This is awesome. So again, this is Gemini energy. So we have double Gemini energy. Trump is happy. Trump is loving this. He's definitely having a great day. The lovers, traditionally, this is about partnership. This is about union between polarities. Okay. So this does imply that there are connections that can be relied on behind the scenes here, and that this is clearly something that is orchestrated. The lovers isn't about chances. The lovers isn't about anybody taking any unilateral risks. This is really about what happens when people operate in unison. So this could also imply the importance for everybody to get involved. A young lady in the comments did mention that the Brunsons were asking people to write letters. I think that that's really significant. There's no reason we can't do that. That's something awesome. Let's see. Oh, also, the lovers, number 6, very much about duality, very much about learning through contrast, meaning we don't know how good something feels until we are, neck deep in pain. We don't know how good we have something until we go without it. So this does feel like the part of the movie where we have come to the precipice of that good cop, bad cop narrative. We may have suffered enough as a country. We may have been embarrassed enough as a country. And a lot of people, if you look around, they're regretting their decision to vote for Biden. They are coming into an awakening of the reality about the pokey thing and the implications of that. So let's see. Also, the lovers is a card of deep commitment. So this does imply that this will stick. Okay. If this was just kind of like, pie in the sky, sort of, just a whole bunch of nothing, like a big nothing burger, this particular case, I don't think we would have the lovers, because the lovers is very much about being committed. This is a no bullshit card, and it's a major arcana, which is very notable, as this is not something that is minor. This is a big deal. This is a huge shot. So let's see here. Oh, we have a jumper. We have two jumpers. Okay. So right now, so the two that just jumped out, they both came up in reverse. So we are going to make note of that. The World reversed and the Eight of Wands reversed. So, okay. So the World reversed. Failed plan, stagnation, emptiness, and delayed success. The Eight of Wands, panic, slowing down, waiting, frustration, and resisting change. I'm of the understanding that this is Tarot's way of showing us right where we're at as a collective. Maybe right where we are all at in this chat, as far as being so done with the bullshit and just being sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I think that this is less of an indicator of what happens next and more of a reflection of where we are all at right now with this situation. So let's see. Thank you guys for being here. Got 118 people in the live chat right now. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys have any questions specifically, feel free to ask. Specifically about this case. I really want tonight's session to be about this hearing and getting the whole thing reviewed, and just, let's see if we're going to get the 2020 election thrown out. Let's see. Will the fake results of the 2020 election be overturned in favor of the truth? Big question. Let's just get into it. Seven of Cups, Nine of Swords, and Three of Wands. All right, so 7, 9, 3. All right. As much as I want to say that this will be a fast win, and that, this is a fast track now to a relatively simple conclusion, that's not what I'm getting. And I think that this is more supplemental, ultimately, where this, like earlier I was saying, it felt a little bit more like a reconnaissance mission, where this announcement was meant to create the type of shockwaves that it behaves as a catalyst. And now people that were being watched very closely to see what they were going to do, now that with the introduction of this, the reintroduction of this, we were going to be able to see, well, maybe not us, but the people watching them, we're going to be able to see exactly what they do now under those circumstances. So it could be a case of, finding out who the rest of the rats, draining of the swamp. We are still at a point where we're clearly still identifying who is good and who is bad. I think that there's that many bad actors. I think that we're dealing with that immense of an infestation within the swamp. Seven of Cups tells us to be open to new possibilities. This also, what this does is it plants seeds within the psyche, where people are, they're becoming hopeful again. If there's one thing I know for certain, is that over the course of the past couple of years, since the success of the rigged election, how they were able to do this, pull this wool over our eyes. A lot of people have lost hope. They have completely lost hope. They're pissed. They're furious. They're depressed. They feel like all the work that they did was for nothing, and a lot of people just can't go on. So I think what this does, um, is it does create some more ripples within the collective that get people to understand that new possibilities are happening. New things, it can happen. Nine of Swords, Three of Wands is a little bit concerning because it kind of implies, like, again, the people that are being observed to see what they do next, there's a chance that this is like a what's the word? Like a dead man's switch. So this announcement does behave as a calm. And what we could see as a result of this is more like depravity, more trauma, more bullshit as a, because when people are desperate, like these folks are a cartel. Like, plain and simple, they are a gang. They are a cartel. Blood, money, children, drugs, arms, firearms, weapons, whatever it is, you name it, these people are into it. They do it. They shuffle it. They make those machines go. So I see a lot of weird, stranger things going on in the collective now. Nine of Swords, I actually see like a major increase in things like overdoses and suicides, but like high profile. And I don't mean death from the pokey thing. I mean people suddenly just dying or disappearing. Um, Now, our outcome is the Three of Wands. Okay. So while I don't know if this case is going to garner this sort of um, major win, and it's like, oh, everybody start banging on the drums and do our victory dance. It doesn't look quite like that yet. That's not the immediate thing. This looks like a really elaborate way for the white hats or the good guys or whatever you want to call them to, again, like, see what these people are going to do. But there's a lot of death, there's a lot of suicide, there's a lot of drowning. Now, the outcome with the Three of Wands, this is expansion. There's a lot of foresight that has gone on here. None of this is accidental. The Three of Wands is all about foresight and planning. So, this is the plan. Three of Wands is the execution of the plan. I gotta tell you, I feel like this more than anything is actually coming up in the cards as looking like an announcement pertaining to death and suicide. And I think that that's why our initial Ace of Swords came up here, is because it's like, dude, like, this is a harbinger of death for some people. Look, guys, I'm not part of those parties. I don't, I can imagine that if I was on the chopping block, and if my safety network, the fake Biden administration, all of these entities that were propping me and my friends up, enabling us to continue to be predatory controllers, I think an announcement like this, the announcement that of the possibility that my safety network was going to be removed and that I was going to be exposed, I don't think that there is anything that I wouldn't do or not do to ensure that I don't go out that way, and that I'm not found out, and that I never, ever, ever have to suffer the consequences or pay for my actions. Now, that's what I would do if I had those kinds of bones in my closet. I would probably consider suicide. Actually, I think I would, because what else, you're gonna keep living like, you did something pretty unforgivable. You did something unforgivable. What does Q say? They won't be able to walk down the street. I think that that's where we're at. I mean, we're looking at an entire country that is waking up very, very quickly, and an announcement like this is just it's like a death bell, I think, for a lot of people, and that's why my cards, instead of the cards implying a whole bunch of victory and yay, and sort of riding off into the sunset here, and things are overturned and Trump's back or Trump never left. This looks more like the announcement of some kind of, okay, everybody is going to be executed next week. Not literally, but this looks like, okay, like the death bell has been rung. So this was unexpected. I wasn't expecting it to be that dark. But then again, I mean, look at who we're dealing with. Like, look at what we're talking about here. So, do you guys have any questions? Some did take deals. I believe that to be true. And that's something else too I've had to come to terms with. And I've talked to a lot of other patriots and friends in this movement, that one of the more difficult facets of the Great Awakening was accepting that our definition of justice and revenge was going to have to be altered to suit a more universal type of justice and revenge, and that man's justice, man's revenge, the way that we see it, the way that we want to see it played out, um, I think it's been difficult to accept that we might not get the exact ending that we wanted very desperately. A lot of us, myself included, especially, PG, the pizza thing, that created a sense of bloodlust within me, where I couldn't think about anything other than getting revenge. I was absolutely consumed for months and months and months of the idea of bringing pain and destruction upon these people, to the point where it was totally interfering with my life. I was angry about things that I couldn't control. I wanted to break the bones of people that I'd never met. I wanted to right these wrongs that I was never going to be able to. And things like wanting to see Hillary in prison, Obama in prison. I certainly want to see all of those people pay for their crimes, but I think that some of us may be doing ourselves a disservice by defining our success, and the success of the republic, by sort of limiting it to just seeing these people pay for their crimes, seeing these people in prison. There's a good chance these people have already been dealt with, and that this is all just for the purpose of creating character, defining characters in the movie. And you can see who has come to terms and accepted those truths, and who hasn't, and who's still kind of stuck on the 2017-2018 cycle of kind of just the bullshit. We change, we evolve. So let's see here. Oh, that's a great question. So I think that's what I'm going to ask here. You wouldn't expect that from me. You don't know me then. What do you mean? I don't know you. You can't expect to say something inflammatory and then think I'm just like not going to say anything. Come on. I mean, maybe you do know, maybe we do know each other and you have like a fake name right now. And if that's the case, like, sorry. If that's the case, text me and tell me who it really is. If that's why you're, talking to me like we're familiar or something. All right. So let's see. AG Bull, I'm going to ask that question. Is there going to be a 2024 election? Let's see. Is there going to be a 2024 election in the United States, in this country? Six of Cups, Two of Wands, Six of Pentacles. When will the dumbs be totally cleaned up? Man, that's one hell of a question, isn't it? I mean, think about how long it took to create the dumbs, and that's just our understanding of modern usage and applications of those structures. For all we know, a lot of the sections of the dumbs could have existed there before military factions got in there. We really don't know. We really don't know. So, as far as whether or not there is going to be a true election, a 2024 election, I have the Six of Pentacles, Six of Cups, the Two of Wands. So here's the deal with the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands does imply a blockage, okay? It's quite literally an X. So it's, it says stop, no more. Don't go any further than this. The Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles, whenever we have the sixes come up, we are looking at events that are very, they're unifying. They bring people together. This is about community. This is about children. So what I actually see here preemptively before any election goes down is likely going to be some kind of events that incite either people getting together or people completely falling apart. And we see this from time to time with major events, things like big shootings, any kind of crisis. You'll see people come together, or you'll see the best and the worst of people during a crisis. This does have the hallmarks of a crisis. I've seen Two of Wands happen when there's a stalemate between parties. Six of Cups is a card of children, young people. It's also a card of the past. Six of Cups is about things that have been forgotten. And then those things when they come back around. And the Six of Pentacles is kind of that same energy, but it's about finances. It's about community finances, sort of valuable things that have value, intrinsic value to the community. So is there going to be an election? Oh God, you guys. Have there ever been real elections? You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could just be like, yes or no. It's like, It's like, dude, like, what's an election? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how it feels. It's like, what's an election? Can you define? Let me clarify this. Is there going to be a 2024 election in which the American people can freely and truly choose their president? Temperance. Okay. So I'm going to say yes, because and so typically when I don't have something that jumps out to me as yes or no, and it's looking like a great gray area, I'll go by highest concentration of positive or negative. And in this case, there is more positive than negative. Temperance, the two sixes. Then we have the Emperor over here and the Two of Wands. So we've got three positives, two negatives. So we're edged out to the yes. We're edged over into the yes category. But the circumstances here are really freaking weird. And I say that because the Temperance card has a lot to do with studies. Like, it has a lot to do with things that are done almost in like a scholastic or academic setting. So if there is an election, it looks as if it's done under a completely different structure. The temperance card is like, I mean, traditionally, this is a card of like teachers, professors, higher education, real academia. I'm not talking about, friggin' Ivy League communist propaganda schools. I'm talking about, when these cards were made, when tarot was made, there was true education in the world. There was true higher learning, because the temperance card is about true study, true patience. I'm actually brought back to a reading I did back in 2020 before the actual inauguration. Um, it was post election, but before inauguration. And I did a reading to see what was going to happen, like how it was going to play out. And I remember getting the temperance card all those years ago, back in 2020. And at the time, my interpretation was that this was something that we were going to have a long family meeting about, a big country family, everybody sit down at the table being symbolic of everybody from every walk of life in this country sitting down having a nice long talk about the situation. Now, that was me being very hopeful. That was me being very, I think, naive, um, wishful, naive, and ignorant. Ignorant. I think that was an ignorant, my interpretation, although pertaining to my traditional understandings of the cards, and, you know, I was right about what the card means, but I certainly, like, my ignorance and my wishful thinking got in my way of understanding that this meant that we were going to have a crap ton of patience. I mean, more patience than we thought we had. More patience than we thought we were capable of. So now to see the temperance card come up again for the 2024 election, it looks less like, oh, wait another 4 years, and more like the fruition of our patience. A lot has happened since 2020. So many people have died. So many truths have come out. I don't know if we were ever going to get to the point that we're at now, had none of that stuff happened. So all things make a lot more sense in retrospect. I think that this is good news. It elates people like us to hear about it. Patriotic Americans, sovereign people, just sovereign people. But I can say that I think what stuck out to me the most out of the cards today was that this was actually like a bell of death or doom for a lot of people that were still kind of, I don't want to say in between, but there were observers that needed to know exactly what these key figures were going to do. And I think that now, they have eyes on them, more eyes on them. And those of us that know what we're looking for, we may actually see, an increase in people's crazy behavior, suicidal behavior, homicidal behavior. I hate to say it, but I do see an uptick in suicides. So, all right. What do the cards say about the future of public education? So that's a really great question. Who are you? Jeff Nerold. I have the feeling that you know way more than what you're promoting. So it bothers me that you can spell than more, like than comparison than, but not your, like your use of the word your. That bothers me. I don't know more than what I'm promoting. I've never been very good about keeping things to myself. ever. If there's something that I know, I'm usually like way too happy to overshare. I would have made a terrible spy slash agent for either side, for anybody's side, because I wear my heart and emotions and thoughts directly on my sleeve. So, no, I don't know any more than what I'm putting out here. That's part of the reason why I consult with the tarot is because I have really big questions, and I'm a natural seeker. I'm a natural investigator, and I have so many questions. Um, but anything that I know, I'm happy to like tell you guys if I can for sure confirm like this is what I know. The rest of it is my opinion, it's my insight, it's conjecture, what have you. But no, I don't claim to have insider information or anything like that. A lot of you guys know I was born into an intelligence family, um, but that doesn't make me, that doesn't make me an intelligence asset. You know what I mean? Like that's literally just like what my dad chose for his career. It's not. I didn't choose that for my career. They wouldn't even when I was, teenager, young adult, they would have taken one, look at me or run me through a battery of tests and be like, no, throw her out. I'm just too emotional, too loose lipped, too outspoken. I just would have made a terrible agent, or anything like that. So yeah. Question: Is Jeff Narlod a creepy stalker? Maybe, maybe. I don't know. I've had like a crazy, just all of a sudden, this influx of male. I wouldn't call them stalkers, but just people on the internet reaching out and saying some really crazy things, like super wild, like I got one guy that for years now, he sends me messages about changing his diaper. He says, "Mommy, I need you to change my diaper." That's fun. That's really interesting. It's nonstop entertainment. There's another guy who thinks he's Jesus. He swears up and down he thinks he is the reincarnation of Jesus. What else? All kinds of strange things. All kinds of strange things. I could dedicate an entire show to the things that people send me. Um, it's pretty hilarious. In the beginning, it really bothered me. I was offended. I was grossed out. I was nervous about it, thinking people knew where I lived. And then over time, you just realize like most people are not motivated enough, independently motivated enough to really do anything about it. They just like to talk shit. They just like to kind of get a rise out of you. So I kind of just transmute a lot of the weird, creepy stuff into comedy and then screenshot it and share it with my friends. So fellas or ladies, if you send me any creepy stuff, stalkerish type stuff or harassment or anything like that, just know that if I'm not just blatantly ignoring it and trashing it, I'm screenshotting it and sending it to my friends, and we're laughing at you for having no life. So, all right, you guys. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to take this over to Patreon right now. I'm going to do some more readings over there. We're going to talk more about the election. We're going to talk about what is to come. So my Patreon link is in the description box. If you guys like what you see and you want to see more of it and you want to see me more like uncensored, where I'm talking about things that I really can't get away with here, then come on over and support me and my work over on Patreon. So you have two options. You have a $17 a month subscription or a $25 a month subscription. And what I'm committing to is at least 2 videos per week where I'm doing readings for the signs, which means earth, water, air, fire. You find your dominant zodiac signs. And I'd be doing readings for you guys for your own personal situations, finances, health, love, you name it. And then also some other like more political-esque sort of dog and pony show, find out the difference between what they're presenting to us versus what they're really, what's really going on and what the real story is. So that's what you can expect from my Patreon. thank you guys so much for accepting me and supporting me after all of these years. I really just I can't thank you guys enough for sticking with me, and I feel very blessed to share this with all of you. And so come over and hang out with me. And for those of you that don't want to, or you feel like it's not time, that's totally cool. You can also expect plenty of free content right here on YouTube. Um, so yeah, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Monday evening, and I will see you all again soon.